You ready?
Sure.
Hello, my nerdlings. If you're new here, my name is Nikki. Welcome to my channel where we get nerdy. And this is Cliffy.
Hello.
We are going to do the end of the year book tag together. So he will answer his the questions for what he's read. I'll answer the questions for what I've read. Number 1. Most disappointing book of the year.
Are you answering first or me?
You first. We'll take turns. You can go first this one.
Alright. Alloy of Law.
Why?
It was out of left field and didn't match up with the rest of Mistborn and just became an outlaw gunslinger book that was not what I was expecting and just wasn't as good.
That's fair. I'm trying to think of what my most disappointing book was. Because I didn't have many disappointing reads.
Shattered.
Well, Shatter Me was this year.
Oh, true.
And Everything I DNF'd was at the beginning of the year.
Well, what was your first DNF of the year?
First DNF of the year was On Writing by Stephen King.
There you go.
It was his memoir, and I just was not in the mood for nonfiction at that time. So I was like, no thank you.
Mama's recording a video, you gotta go. Do you want to say hi?
Yeah. Hi.
Okay, go play.
Go play in your room.
What was an underdog book?
Go play. An underdog book?
Yeah.
So something I was expecting to be bad and was good?
That's how I would perceive it. For me, I was expecting to hate Haunting Adeline. I was expecting to hate Haunting Adeline because of everything I had heard about it. I'm like, how am I going to like this guy that is really morally gray and does some questionable things? But I ended up loving the story.
I'll say probably Poppy War, I suppose. More or less because I didn't know really what I was going to get into, and it was a pleasant surprise that it was good.
Okay. What was an overhyped book you read? You don't really follow Book Talk and BookTube and all of that stuff.
No.
Very well.
So, there's no overhyping for me.
For me, the Off Campus series by Elle Kennedy was definitely overhyped.
Go.
Were
Go
they a
play.
bad series? No.
Go play. Go on. Go.
Off Campus by Elle Kennedy. It was not a bad series. I just think some of it was more hyped than it should have been. How about a book that surprised you?
I mean, it's kind of really the same as the last question, really, isn't
I mean, we could skip it.
it? Yeah.
Your favorite book couple?
Favorite book couple?
Yep.
Nesta Cassian.
Why?
Sassy and funny. Just a funny combo.
My favorite book couple, Hades and Lyra. I don't know why. I think I like the spin on Hades. Because, like, in everything you see of a Hades book, like, Hades story, Hades is this terrible person, absolutely atrocious. But in that one, he's a little bit of a softie.
I think he's a softie with her, and that's why it comes off as he's a softie, because he goes toe-to-toe in a fight, and people are like, I'm sorry, fucking forgive me, please, bow down to the Lord. So, I don't think it's so much as he's a softie. It's more or less he has a soft spot for her.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
And then if we take those ones out, it would have to be...
I think she's just like the absolute balls she has and back mouthing fucking the Lord of Death.
That's why I like her.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's just that's the funniest part of the whole thing. It's not that he's a softie. It's that she has the biggest cojones of everyone. They're dragging across the ground.
If I don't pick them, my next favorite would have to be Violet and Xaden. Even though Violet pisses me the fuck off, a lot of the time throughout Iron Flame, I still think Violet and Xaden is a good match.
Yeah, it's an okay one.
How about your favorite main characters of the year? So you can't pick Nesta and Cassian because they're
not really main characters anyways, and they're not my favorite.
well, they are in Silver Flames.
Yeah, but they're not my favorite main characters. Kaladin. 100% Kaladin's my favorite main. And Sylphrena.
I figured Sylphrena was.
Sylphrena's not like the main character, but she's part of Kaladin's character story, so she kind of is tied in with his main characterness.
Okay.
But Kaladin's fucking awesome.
For me, it would probably have to be... This is hard. Levi Posey. I know you don't know who this is.
Probably a hockey player.
It is! Levi Posey is the Riddick from Fourth Wing, but
Yeah.
in this hockey series. He's the comedic relief. He's fucking hilarious. He has this ritual of he has to have a bologna sandwich before every game, no matter how sick he is. And he's a goofy goober. He reminds me of Nate Bellavance.
And he has a really big hockey stick.
All right, new favorite author you discovered this year.
I don't really pay attention to the authors, so no.
Really?
Really. Authors could really... Like, I like their writing style, but I wouldn't have picked the book up because of just the author.
Okay, but is there an author you found this year that now, because of reading what you've read from them, you're going to pick up more of their things?
I mean, I like Brandon Sanderson because of, like, Stormlight Archive, and I've read Mistborn because of that. Granted, he let me down a lot with the second era of Mistborn, but it wasn't due to the writing or the author. It was because it didn't fit along with Mistborn.
Okay.
And I don't know what else he has that I feel like I might want to read, but I might check out some of his stuff because of it.
That's fair. New favorite author for me would probably have to be... Who have I read the most? I mean, I read a lot of Anna Huang and... Hold on. Anna Huang and Elle Kennedy I read a lot of. But I'm really loving Megan Quinn.
Yeah.
Like, really loving Megan Quinn. An author that didn't work out for you this year.
I have no
Again,
idea.
you don't follow authors, so it doesn't matter. And
I never stopped reading a book that I started, so I couldn't tell you that either. Other than the Mistborn era too, but that was just because it wasn't so much the author, it was the book itself.
right. And there wasn't an author that there wasn't any books that I didn't like that I saw through. Like, there's no, like, second chance author type situation going on because I enjoyed them. So, what's the happiest book you read this year?
Happiest?
Yeah. I think this can be interpreted by, like, what made you happy, or one where the characters were genuinely happy. Like a feel-good book, maybe.
I didn't have books that I really read that were heartfelt books in the sense of like, oh, it's lovey-dovey. But probably.
What about reading Percy Jackson with Nick?
I mean, that's not super lovey-dovey, but
Well, no,
there's
that, you don't have to be lovey-dovey in the book. It's just a book that made you feel happy.
I mean, Stormlight Archives makes me feel happy in certain aspects, certain times.
You sound like a broken record.
Well, I mean, it's my favorite series, and I'm gonna probably pick it out for most things.
Okay, how about saddest book you read this year?
Stormlight Archives.
Happiest book for me,
It killed Tef.
that's a spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
For me, Nikolai
That's
Nikolai turn happiest book for me. It would have to be Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. I loved how she did that, even though it's a small book. Like, it's 280 pages, maybe. But she made you fall in love with the characters and root for the characters in that short a time span. It was done really well.
No.
Saddest book I read this year? Honestly, I don't really read sad books because my mental health is depressing enough. Most infuriating or frustrating book you read this year? What book just pissed you off?
Probably the Poppy War.
Why?
Just some of the character development and choices they made throughout the war just made you frustrated that they're so stupid with their choices sometimes.
Okay. Mine is every single fucking book I read that all the problems could be solved with a conversation.
Yeah.
That drives me absolutely batty.
Nesta and Cassian.
Nesta and Cassian's a perfect example of it, but also Violet pissed me off so bad with the
Not talking.
not willing to not be a douche to Xaden when, like, he had valid points to keeping her in the dark.
Yeah.
How about best book adaptation? I have one,
Okay. What's yours?
and you will probably agree with me.
What's yours?
Bridgerton.
Oh, so it's a show
Yeah.
that was a book first?
Yep. I think Bridgerton was just, I love the storyline, and
I never read the books, though.
neither have I,
So how can you know if it was
because I
good?
think it was beautifully done. I enjoyed the story. I like what they did with it.
Right, but the book could have been absolute ass.
Judging by the fact that the book got chosen to be adapted, it doesn't mean it's absolute ass.
I'm just saying, you never read the book, so how can you...
I don't care. I'm saying Bridgerton was the best adaptation that I saw this year. But I also don't watch a lot of TV or movies.
Vox Machina.
Okay, that's a good one. Because they do have the comic books.
No, I didn't read the books. I was just going off with something that I knew was an adaptation.
Favorite cover? You don't look at the prettiness like I do.
I don't judge books by their cover. But there is some that I do like of yours. But I'll go with the one that I have for Iron Flame Special Edition.
Okay. My favorite cover.
I think Malice is pretty nice too.
Which Malice? By John Gwynne?
Yeah.
Do you want to hold it up?
I mean, you can grab one.
That's
I
this
think
right.
it was.
Oh, We lost the light. Ta-da!
Pretty basic, but
You like that cover?
yeah,
Why?
I don't know, samurai feel.
Okay. I can't. I don't think I can reach the one I like the most. So I'll go with a runner up. Where is it? This one. I think I like this cover. The Spell Shop. It just looks cozy.
Very whimsical.
Like, other than the cat having wings on the steps, like, you could find that little cabin in the woods of Maine. Hands down.
Looks like Lulu's cabin.
In League?
It's like a Lulu style cabin. Very whimsical and
And it's purple.
there you go.
A book you haven't stopped thinking about.
I wasn't thinking about any.
Like, you don't have theories for Onyx Storm, even?
Well, I have theories, but I don't really think about it.
Oh.
I don't. I read the books and that's it. I don't really sit there and think and ponder on them.
Okay. Well, you're boring.
I know.
For me, it's the Empyrean. Like,
What's gonna happen next?
I have tried and thought of so many theories for that. It's ridiculous.
I have a theory on it.
But
We'll find out what happens next by reading it.
thank you, Captain Obvious.
It's a pretty legit theory, isn't it?
Unpopular book you loved. A book everyone else hated and you loved. You wouldn't know because you don't follow.
Again, yep, no idea. But you said you were gonna hate all of the Iron Flame and that it was overhyped and that
A fourth wing.
Fourth Wing, and you ended up loving it because I told you to. So technically, that was a book that you originally hated and you love now. So,
But it's not unpopular. But it's a valid point. There's not many. I mean, there's this one. There's this one hockey romance I found on Kindle called Puck Me Secretly. And, like, it doesn't have a whole bunch of ratings, and I loved it. It was really well done. A book you thought you'd love but didn't.
Go.
Yeah, go play. Go watch Rubble in Sky.
The Mistborn era too. Again, it's like I assumed it was going to be like Mistborn, and it just completely was not. So
That's fair.
I assumed I was going to like it. Definitely didn't.
In the Vancouver Agitator series by Megan Quinn, the same one with Levi Posey, the second book is with Eli Hornsby. And I actually was excited for that one because it's a brother's best friend trope, but it has the accidental pregnancy trope, which I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like feeling like you're forcing your characters together solely because they share a human.
Yeah.
Most unique concept you read this year? That's a tough one. Because I've read a lot of retellings and reimaginings.
I would say the Poppy War is probably the most imaginative in a way. I mean, or original. Like, all the different gods that they have within it and whatnot, and like how they portray their gods is different, I guess, than the rest that I would expect.
Okay. I'm going with Cells at Work.
Okay.
I just think it's really cool to think, like, to imagine the human body in the way it does in that manga series.
Yeah.
Book you read this year that you would reread.
Probably Imperium.
The Fourth Wing series? Okay.
Yeah. Something within there I would reread.
The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. When the second book comes out, I'm definitely going to reread in order to
Keep up to date.
Yeah. What is your goal for reading in 2025?
I don't have a goal. I read because I'm on the road.
Okay. Mine's 75.
Yeah.
Hi, Moose. And then the last two questions don't apply to you.
What are they?
A book you wish you got this year,
Okay.
which you wouldn't.
No.
And if I want a book, I go buy it. So.
Yeah,
And
you do.
what will you prioritize in 2025?
I'm gonna read Onyx Storm.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Prioritize for me?
Onyx Storm.
Well, Onyx Storm's a big one for me.
You're taking the day off.
Well, I have doctor's appointments that day too,
Oh.
so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
But it's trying to get down my physical TBR.
Okay.
Okay. So, that was the end of the yearbook tag with Cliffy and Moose and Leon and Nikolai. How do I sign it off? If you liked the video, if you did, comment down below your answers to the end of the yearbook tag. Hit subscribe if you want to see more, and until next time, you are loved and you are valued.
And like the video.
I already said that.
No, you just said subscribe.
I said like the video if you did, comment down below.
Oh, I thought you just said subscribe if you like the video.